paranormal fanatics, and welcome to a Saturday night. As always, I do my best to entertain. Sometimes I'm very successful, other times not so much. I see Lee jumped right in. Hola, Ramirez. My Spanish is very little, so don't expect a full show with Spanish, English switching back and forth. But I appreciate you joining in and putting the English version. And Mr. Baron, how you doing, Mr. Consultant? I hope you are doing well. I believe it's you. I know a few people have access to your account, so if it's not you, I apologize to whoever it is. Hello, Ashley. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. So, hey, Heather. I hope you're doing well, as good as well. So, tonight's guest, unfortunately, was due to scheduling conflict and such, is not able to join. So, I had two separate teams set up for the same time, and they were going to jump on and kind of go back and forth with the two groups and myself, and unfortunately it hasn't worked out. The one group may join in a little bit later, so we'll see how that works out. Awesome, Matt. I hope things are going well. Alex, I hope you're doing good as well. Down in Texas, probably doing a lot better than I am weather-wise. Temps are dropping and snow is here, and phew, it's a little good. I've kind of changed the overlay a little bit. Still working on getting that all lined up, looking decent and good. So I hope you'll bear with me as it changes here and there. But you know, most of you guys have a pretty good idea who we are and things like that. So I figure add a little something extra, like a little ghost or whatnot, and change it up where I can, right? Cold and drizzling. Yeah, I think most of the states are a little chilly. You know, that's just time of year, I guess. But so I didn't really have a topic in mind tonight because, like I said, I thought I was going to be interviewing some guests, but something kind of fell in my lap that made me kind of start contemplating and wondering. And what fell in my lap, and I would really appreciate you guys giving me some your views and such on this. Call it bipolar weather here. Yeah, isn't that the truth? So I'll try to keep my mind active enough to keep a good, thoughtful conversation with you guys. But working all day gets a little so. But I've seen recently a couple teams not give up, but retire, I guess is a good way to put it, from the paranormal world. Our friends up to the west of us, because we're pretty much the east, Midwest anyways, Wisconsin area society, paranormal society, has the one founder, Alan, has retired and stepped away from the reins, and as far as I'm aware, his daughter took over the group. And so the other one, Para Links, something along those lines, what made me start thinking about it, announced like an hour or so ago that they themselves are stepping away after 30 years of the paranormal world and sitting back and such. How you doing, Ron? I hope you're well. I am doing all right myself at the moment. So, you know, I just wondered to myself, it got me thinking, when is a good time to step away? I mean, is it when you feel like you can't physically go to these locations and do true investigatings, or because I feel like there's always something that can be done, be it sit and monitor the cameras and such, or is it when you lose interest in it, as like it's just not as passionate for you anymore, so you go if it's there, but otherwise it doesn't bother you if it's not? Is that a good time to retire, or do you try to refine the interest that you once had in it? So it just got me wondering, and no, I'm not looking to retire from doing this, at least not today. You never know when the job comes up and extra hours and things like that. And do you, like, say, our group here at WASP, we've been around for several years now, so do we look and just close down the doors and just be done with it? Do we hand it off to those that decide that they're not ready for the group to be done, or should the team end when the founders close it, or not close it but leave? I know we have always said that it doesn't matter which member of WASP leaves, be it the newest to the oldest member, that it should be set up good enough to continue on without their presence. And then you get to wondering which point is there enough to carry on. Like, does, say, half the group leaves a team, is that the end of it? Should you close the doors then, or something like 3/4 or 2 people? I mean, so I don't think this is a subject that many teams have truly thought of in their time. You know what I mean? So I'd be happy to answer thoughts or disagree or agree with you guys, however you guys feel about that. I just was curious. Like I said, we're not planning on retiring. That's not what this is about. Just curiosity of how things go. I am curious, though. Let's kind of switch topics a little bit until you guys comment, if you care to comment. Is what direction should we personally be going with our social media stuff? Like, I know I try to stay active with at least a comment or two every day or so on Facebook. We have Twitter, and I don't really do much with that. We have several different things like Clapper, let's see, maybe Twitch, but we got several things that I just don't get very active with, because I just don't have the time in reality. And then it's hard to be active in one and get all your stuff done, switch gears, go to a different platform, start a different type of setup with that platform, because let's face it, Twitter is different than Facebook, right? Alex says, I think when you don't have the drive to do it anymore is the time to stop. And that's a good time. However, do you stop permanently, or do you take a little bit of a break and say, oh, okay, after 2 weeks, I feel like whatever was going on at that time is I'm back in the mood for it. Other says, it's part of my life, no quitting here. Yeah, and that's another thing. Those with the abilities to, some call them abilities, some have gifts, it's not really so easy for them to just turn off and turn away and say, oh, that's it, I'm done. That's part of their physical being. Oh, Cindy, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. I am being safe and warm at home, so I don't plan on being anywhere else for the night that I'm aware of, so I should be good. Thank you. But so yeah, it's kind of hard to to take that away. Alex says, if you go back after taking the break, your heart is not in it. Yeah, I guess I could agree with that. And that once again, this is not like a workplace retirement. There's no government saying, hey, you must retire by the age of 68. 5 years down the line, you never know. It might creep back in and interest you and make you feel like you want to be part of it again. And then again, also new equipment might come out that makes it like, oh my God, I've got to check this out. So I think in time you can come back into it. I think a little funk, like I feel like I've been in a little bit of a funk when it comes to paranormal and social media and such. But I think a little funk is one thing. Give it a little time. More times than not, it goes away. So, I guess it depends on how long the funk lasts too, right? Because from my standpoint, and I know, well, I don't know, but I would assume there's only 10% of paranormal teams that are out. Hold on a second, brother. But I assume there's about 10% paranormal teams that are out there that don't have social medias like YouTube and such. So people like me who do, or Wasp, we don't get that recognition after we put the video out and things like that. You almost feel defeated. It almost takes away from you. So you kind of like, and so it makes you kind of question. I just put in days worth of work for 20 views, but I have a unannounced visitor, and he's been on the show maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 20 times, but he's here. Let's welcome the one and only Mr. Consultant. Feel free to put yourself in there, sir.
Yeah, I didn't come up here to do work.
Sure you did. How you doing, Eric? I hope you're doing well. My other profession is a bus driver. This is somebody that's crazy enough to trust my bus driving skills. No doubt. I kind of like how that goes. Kind of over there, like, is translucent enough to not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks good.
So I've been working on that here and there to get that a little more.
I like it.
And you're being helloed, sir.
What's up, Alex? How you doing, brother?
Well, I'm not going to go into a lot of details with everybody, but I am truly honored that you decided to join me tonight. Because I know you've slowed down on your social media content.
Slowed down. I hit the emergency brake.
Well, I'm trying to word it tactically.
Yeah, it's fine. No worries. And actually, hey, Heather. And actually, your topic intrigued me. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear myself on. I think it's coming from your end. Is it your end?
What's that? You know what? It's not echoing in my ears.
Oh.
Anybody else are you getting an echo?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Let me see. Go ahead and chat.
It's your speakers. Your speakers are picking me up.
All right.
That's what it is.
Is that better?
Maybe. Yeah, that's better.
All right. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you giving us a heads up on that.
Yeah, I could hear it, but I just didn't know if it was going back into the audience side or not.
If this is working better for you guys, let me know. Nice. Cool. So, it intrigued you.
Well, I mean, it's very fitting.
It is. And, believe it or not, you are not the reason that made me think of it. It literally, I don't know if you've seen the chat, because I'm not sure if you were part of the one chat. but it's Paralinks or something like that.
Like Steven and them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard some rumors about some things. So I did leave just to catch up on anybody in the audience. I actually, for those who know me, I've had 2 podcasts. Was running the P3. Was doing a lot in the paranormal community. Well, as I stated earlier, I slammed on the brakes very abruptly. It wasn't a decision that was lightly taken. It did. I've been thinking about it for a minute now. But this week I just went ahead and did it, and I actually left, I think, a total of 197 groups, and I had 80 group chats, all but 2, and the 2 that I'm still on are for the Global Ghost Hunt, which that's just the admin chat and the personal chat. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. It's the I'm also in the locations chat as well. So 77 group chats I left.
So, no, I've never been brave enough to try to take on all of that. But now that you stepped away for what, about 3 days, few days?
On Tuesday.
Are you kind of breathing a sigh of relief? Like, is it, or is it something that you feel is a void?
It's both. It's both. I've had a couple of conversations with yourself, obviously, brother, and a couple others. And, you know, I know a lot of people like seeing me on the shows. They like the shows I do. They enjoy my presence in the community. And I appreciate it. And don't get me wrong, I really do appreciate it. But at the same time, this was needed. Mm-hmm. This is something that I needed to do. Was starting this new job, and I had a couple other things going on. You know, I've made it known very, very bluntly that if I'm not giving my audience, my people, my community, my 100%, I'm not doing it. It's not worth doing. And basically, I was lying to myself, saying I was giving the 100%, when in actuality, I was maybe running at 40. So once I hit that realization where that's what I was doing, it was like, something's got to give. Something has got to happen. So, and there was just a different chain of events that led to me just saying, you know what? I'm done.
Right.
I'm done.
Now, excuse me. Along that thought of pattern, though, and this kind of goes back to what I'm saying as a social media content creator and such. A lot of people see this. This is what they see.
Yes.
And so, like my personal life, I do put some of it out there, but I'm sure there's 80% I don't. Now, to those that are just tuning in on the shows and such, they had no idea that there was stuff going on in the background. So to them, it was like one day, all's good. An hour later, big changes.
Yeah.
Without the realization that you're going through the other stuff in your life, and
well, I mean, let's
I'm not trying to make it sound like you know, the big C or anything like that.
Oh, no. And let's be honest. You know, the paranormal community is just like any other community. I mean, even work and stuff. We're a part of these things. We see a lot, but we don't see everything. There's obviously, like in any, let's look at any corporate situation. Corporate comes down and says, hey, these are going to be these big changes that are happening. Like, let's just say, let's say Domino's. I used to work at Domino's, as most of you may know or may not know. Let's just go. They say they come down one day and say, you know what? Let's go to Square Pizzas. That's it. We're just going to go to Square Pizzas. That's a big change.
Right.
That's a huge change for people. a lot of people on the lower levels, the store levels, may be, and a lot of people may be very upset. They will be very upset over that. You know, this is what they know to do. They know round pizzas. You know, now that it's squared, you know, that's a big step. But what they don't see is the corporate side. Maybe they've done research and studies, and they found that for some reason, square pizzas just sell better.
Right.
You know, there's always something behind the scenes. There's always something else, and which is why us as investigators, what we need to do is we need to do our research, do our due diligence, investigate, find out the truth, and look at different alternatives. The paranormal is not just you go in, you find the dead people, you go out. No, there's history, there's geological sides to it, there's, you know, astrological, there's there's a bunch of different things that are at play there.
Definitely.
So,
and just to clear up, let's make sure he did not leave because of any health issues.
Well, not physical, mental health, which is a big part. Yes, I will attest to that.
That's another thing in the paranormal field. Do you retire when it starts getting to the point where it's mentally taxing?
Well, in the paranormal, as you know, brother, and I know Lee's here, and Alex is here, and Heather's here. There's a lot of good investigators here. We all know that, right? We all know that the paranormal, even just the investigating, is very taxing mentally. And as much as anybody can do what we do, not everybody can do what we do. It takes a lot. Like, a lot of people think of us as idiots that run around in the dark talking to things that aren't there. You know,
dumb cat fits.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what? Sometimes we are those idiots that are just running around in the dark talking to nothing. But when you start getting into some of these situations, I mean, think about it. You're in the dark. You have the alone. There's fear you have to fight. You're mentally drained. You're up, all night long. That's long hours. Those are a full investigation, like when you guys came to my hometown. Well, the next town over. We were there all night. We were there all night long. And the start of an investigation to the end of the investigation is night and day, literally. And it's not just...
Then the drive home.
Well, even before that, the pack up.
Mm-hmm.
Loading the equipment up, driving back to the house, unloading the equipment.
We're a bunch of kooks.
We are.
But yeah, and that's it. That goes to the physical side of retirement of the paranormal world. All the hours put in, the hauling of the equipment and such, and sometimes the long drives, and I guess my thing is, and that wasn't my thought for tonight's show until almost a half hour before the show, and it just kind of seemed like a good topic for the night, because I don't think many people discuss this aspect of it.
No, and you know what? It's just like the shows. Like, we talk about the shows, how they fake stuff and everything else. And yeah, Alex, you're absolutely right. I've done it. I've done 48.
We were up 24 hours time. You wake up till the time you get home after the investigation.
Yep. Been there.
And then you have a thing for the paranormal. That's now being well said as paranormal hangover.
Yeah. Which actually, it's fun. It's like getting a tattoo. It's weird to say this, but as much of a pain as the paranormal hangover is, it's addicting. It's addicting. It's weird to say, but it is. But no, I mean, you want to talk reality here. Like, we talk about the shows, like Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and some others, Destination Truth. we all sit there and we see what, a half hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour of video. Let's even say on an hour show, you're seeing what, 30 minutes of investigating. Half hour is the introduction to the investigation, the stories, and another half hour is the actual investigation with, your evidence. I actually had the honor and privilege to talk to Satori Haas and Cherie Marie from Ghost Hunters.
Right, and the first name you mentioned is
Satori,
Jason's daughter.
Correct. So she grew up with this. I believe it was Satori that said on the show that Brian and I did. She said that what we are seeing is at least a week's worth of investigating. So if you think about it, there's 24 hours in a day. We'll say 8 of them are at night. You can't see. They're, So in a week, that's 56 hours. 56 hours of investigating in a week's time, cut down to a 30-minute slot.
Right.
That's a lot. You don't see all of that. And most of their equipment, the cameras and the stuff, they're up for a week. They set them and they walk away. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to do that every day.
No. It sounds like fun until you do it.
Yeah, and I know, and they even have crews. And I've seen it. Like I got the opportunity, I'm not gonna say the privilege, but I got the opportunity to meet a couple people who are hosts on the show. And the camera crew there, it looks like out of Hollywood. There's at least 30 to 40 people who just do equipment. That was just for an overnight. That was one night. But to be in a place like Pennhurst, Eastern State Penitentiary, Stanley Hotel, stuff like that, Queen Mary, that's a lot of work.
Yeah. I can only imagine what they do. And, but see, that's the other side of things, though, is they do have these large crews and they do have all this to help them do, because they're definitely not sitting there 24/7 in these places and such. They're sitting back at the Radisson enjoying a nice hot tub. Well, crews like us are going to asking these questions and doing the investigations and such, and then they come on for the highlights of it.
The easy stuff.
Right.
But we're doing all of this, by ourselves. Like when we did this house here where I'm at, when Wasp came down, we set all that up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, luckily I was, I did the interview, so I kind of had an idea of where the equipment needed to be, and it was just basically just run it. But if you're fresh and you've never been to a place like that, I'll just say it. Mackenzie and I, we are going to Pennhurst at the end of the month, the 26th and 27th.
Awesome.
When we go, if we were doing a full-scale investigation, that's a lot to do for just a couple people. That's going to be very tiring, very taxing.
Definitely. Alex says that, and those that may or may not know, Alex was on the Travel Channel.
I believe so, yeah.
He had a show of reenactment. I've shared it on Facebook page a few times, and talking about experience in a school that he had while he was working there. And he said for 18 hours of filming time, they put 15 minutes of the segment out.
And it was good. It was a good episode, and it's a great story. I remember speaking with Alex about it.
Denny says, is there a volume to a haunting to have amount of equipment set up for a certain site? No, generally 90% of the time, unless you're doing something little like a cemetery or something where it's just a fun little outing, most time it's everything. You bring everything you can and you charge everything for hours beforehand, and you just go all out. I suppose the only time that would change would be something, not the amount of activity in a place, but say like somebody in an efficiency type apartment where it's one room or
Yeah.
the living room and kitchen are connected and all that. I suppose you don't need 18 cameras.
No. And honestly, the other side of it is like that's just the physical equipment. Like, excuse me, the only thing that really stipulates what I'm bringing would be the metaphysical side, your crystals and gems and stuff like that, and that you go off of what the reports are. Like if it's something just kind of there, you don't need your holy water and a crucifix, and you're not going in ready to do battle, so to speak. It to me it's case dependent. Like when we did this house, I know Wasp brought all of their equipment. We brought a good majority of it because we weren't sure who or what was actually there. I had an idea, which luckily we were correct. We were correct about it. But I mean, you really don't need, like Scott said, if you're going to a small location, I wouldn't take everything and anything. You're not taking $10,000 worth of equipment to, a little shack.
Right. Right, a little cabin in the woods. Well,
Yeah.
maybe in that situation I might just for the fun of it. But yeah, so it's not really based off of activity the majority of the time. Majority of the time it's based on size of the location.
And team.
Like at the library theater, we brought everything and it was still not even a fraction of what was needed for it.
That was fun. You got to do that again.
That was a big place. So, yeah, I'm tired.
I'm right there with you.
It was a busy day today.
Well, past week has been just so taxing. But
I can only imagine for you on your end of things, but that's another thing for a lot of teams. They will work that Friday, especially depending on how severe the case is, if it's got kids involved or anything like that. They will work all day and go to be the whole night in the location to try to help out a family and such.
Oh yeah, I've done it. I know I've gotten up 2 hours earlier for work at like 4 or 5 in the morning, packed up my vehicle with all my equipment, tested it, and then went to work. And then left right from work to go to the investigation. I told the team, I was like, I'll meet you there.
I've actually charged my stuff at work just to make sure they were fully charged.
I couldn't where I was, but I took battery. I had battery packs, and then we had a converter. So as soon as I got in the vehicle, I just put the converter into the cigarette lighter and started plugging in some stuff. But most of the time when I had my team, I had a room just dedicated to my equipment. So I would just leave everything just plugged in, and everything would be charged all the time. And so just at a drop of a hat, just boom, go.
Well, my tech manager, Leefoot, always slacks in that area. So,
priorities.
Yeah, Leefoot he'd rather have a bottle of whiskey to worry about than our equipment. Oh, nice. I am currently on antibiotics for strep throat. So,
actually, that reminds me. That reminds me. I got more of these. I told you about these. These are the Hunch Punch moonshine. Yeah. I got like 4 more of them upstairs after this week. So I'm fixing to go crack another one.
I was thinking about having a few drinks tonight myself, and it was like, you're not supposed to drink while you're on antibiotics.
Nope. Just so duels for you, sir.
I was like, God blessed America.
Uh-oh, you're getting yelled at.
Like normal. He gets so sensitive. Lee says I am not the tech guy. But, so...
Oh, that's what fell.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know if you guys heard that bang, but I have a binder. Actually, I'll just show you. I was saying that my week's been taxing. So, this is... I know it's hard to see with the green screen, but this is the assistant manager binder that I have to learn. Typically, it's an 8-week course, right? I've got another one of these. I'll hold it this way so it doesn't look like I'm holding nothing. Green binder. I was like, yeah, I gotta have some fun with this. But anyway, some Harry Potter crap. Look at this. It's just like, just open it up. Oh, but I have, this is just for the assistant manager. I have the general manager one still that I have to get done. So basically, I have an 8-week course to do in 4 weeks, and then another 8-week course to do in another 4 weeks. So,
I am blessed that I don't have to. You got like this big hole in your face. What, the punch moonshine?
Hunch punch, and it is delicious. Tastes just like Hawaiian punch, and it doesn't hit you till you stand up, then you hit the floor. My kind of drink.
So if you don't stand up, you're good.
Yeah, pretty much. That's my theory. We're gonna test that out tonight.
That's where you'll be.
Hey, I don't go until 4 tomorrow, so that's plenty of time.
Live stream for the next 24 hours. So,
don't tempt
speaking
me.
of live streaming and all that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that's helped the paranormal field, or do you think that's hindered it?
I honestly think that our technology, I'll just include that. All of our tech, whether it's Facebook, Parapost, any of our social networking sites, I think it's actually helped. And the reason why I'm saying that, well, it's both. It's helped because it made us connect each other. Like, if it wasn't for YouTube or Facebook, you and I, Fedora, we would have never met, brother. I would have never met Leefoot and everybody else. You know, I wouldn't have met the amazing people that I have.
Oh, Ingrid.
And maybe I would have. Who knows? Maybe I would have.
Paracon or something.
Yeah, like maybe I would have heard about, say, the library. I would have heard about it, and I would have showed up as a guest. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think that the networking side of it does help, but at the same time, it also hurts because stuff gets stirred up, as you know.
Well, right now, I would say I've been blessed that I have not had any real negative stuff go on through social media. But I could see, and I have seen, it tear down teams very quickly and violently. And well, I don't know if violently is the correct word, but you get the idea.
Yeah, abruptly.
Right. And, so in those situations, I guess not so much.
Well, I mean, it's given everybody a chance to learn, which I think is really great because, like, you can learn. We all investigate differently, and we've seen that firsthand. You and I investigate completely differently, right. But we complement each other. We investigate. Yes, Lee, I'm going to pick on you because you're Leefoot and I love you. Don't care.
He's our tech guy. You have permission.
But Lee investigates in a different style than what you do and than what I do. And it just works very well. And even Heather, she's in the chat. She investigates completely differently. And you learn different things. So it's a great tool to learn new things. You get to see new places. Like, I know our brother Anthony from the Texas Wraith Hunters, he's in San Antonio investigating. We get to see that. We have the opportunity to see that. We have the opportunity to see some of these places that we would have never seen before. So it is a great tool. But just like with every other tool, if it's used correctly, and that I think is one of the big issues in the field is it's being abused. People have their own feelings, they have their own thoughts, they have their own thought processes. Right. And the fact is there's still people who think that their way is the only way. Well, I don't know if anybody watches NCIS. I love it, but somebody needs to Gibbs slap these people in the back of the head because it's not like that.
I've never seen that show. I've seen advertised, but I never watched the show.
It's a great show, but I would think honestly the way I see our field, if I could relate it to anything, is like the show MASH. That I know you've seen MASH.
I'm not looking that old, am I?
I love MASH, so it's not an age thing. I love MASH, but I think I think MASH is probably the closest thing, and people are probably who have seen the show are probably going, "Where's that connection?" We're in our own little camp, our communities. We're doing our own thing. There's different bases or camps or MASH units that everybody brings something different to the table. When crap hits the fan, it's a great group to work with. You wouldn't want to be with anybody else.
So,
Everything on the outside, though, coming in.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna have a little fun here.
Uh-oh.
I would say that my character would be like, and I don't quite remember the names 100%. I'm thinking Hawkeye and the other one. What's those two being?
Which one? Because there was two of them.
Alan Alda.
Yeah, Alan was Hawkeye. And then there was frickin' I know who he is. His bunkmate.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say that would be me and Lee. And you would be our radar.
Hey.
Hey, at least I didn't call you a clinger, right?
I could pull off a clinger.
The Disney princess.
I honestly could see you as like a Father Mulcahy. Especially with the fedora.
He did wear one, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I could see you as a Father Mulcahy. You just have that personality. Lee would be hard. Lee would probably be his own.
Yeah, he would. He'd have to have his own character.
Trapper, that's Trapper and BJ. Thank you.
Leave it to him to pop up with the names.
I was trying to think of Trapper John. That's the name I was looking for. John. Yeah. I don't know why that escaped me, but.
And Heather would be
Hot Lip Houlihan.
You went there. Anyways, we probably should jump off the MASH topic. That's going to be the title: Paranormal and MASH.
So we should do that. We should do that. We should. That should be a thing. What TV character can you relate to? Like who's this on an investigation?
A little side note. For back when Facebook was doing a lot of the personalized "Who are you" kind of deals, we made one for Wasp.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, which Wasp member are you? Hello, Jennifer.
Hey,
I hope you're doing well tonight. And so people were able to answer questions and see which Wasp member you are. I tried to find it not too long ago, and it's no longer in existence. But Heather was on there. Heather was part of it. No. And so I was 30% of the time, even though I created the quiz, I could come up as myself. The sad thing is I came up more times as Lee than I did my own self. So I don't know. I think it had something to do with which alcohol drink you liked or something that made me more like him. So I don't know, but that's a little side fact there for everybody in the paranormal world. So I think before we get off topic, or not off topic, but before we move on to another topic, if we move on to another topic, is I feel that it's up to each individual to take the time to figure out if it's the right time to step away from and retire from the field. Like, I don't see myself anytime soon. doing so or those in the group. But
Honestly, I think the bottom line is, when is it stop being fun? When Heavy Shudo?
I'm not sure who that is.
That's NCIS.
Oh,
That's NCIS.
I'm thinking MASH. I'm like, I'm not sure who that is. And glad you're doing great there, Jen.
You know, I'll say this, even with the Wicked Queen within earshot. Abby Shudo is cute. I think she's very cute.
Is that the name of the character? Or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there you go. There's one for you from Lee.
You should feel flattered by that. Yeah, for something. I wasn't though. I don't know why.
I think you two were separated at birth.
Yeah.
No, I think, just like with anything else, the right time to step away or even retire, if you will, is when it stops being fun. When it becomes more of a hindrance than something. Like, there's a gentleman, I just saw a TikTok, 94 years old, still plays ice hockey.
Oh wow.
He does pickup games, everything. He still pads up, still hits the ice, still throws checks. 94. He's got a passion.
Imagine
what's that?
By a 94. Imagine being checked by a 94-year-old person.
And he's not like big. He's not a big guy. He's like grandpa. Like, you think, a grandpa just hanging out on the, he's skinny. But I think,
now let me answer, because
yeah.
I think if I'm wrong on the way I'm viewing it, speak up. You're right, Heather. It's not supposed to be fun in the sense of like a roller coaster, but it's a sense of when it starts causing chaos, to start taking over your life in those type of ways, and it's just where you're dreading doing it, and it's no longer fun in that sense, right?
Yeah, it's like, let's be honest. We all, if we call ourselves investigators, and I'll even throw in the term ghost hunter. If we go out, I hate using that term, but they're out there.
See, now that's where me and you differ. We'll go into that in a minute.
But anyway, if you don't get any joy from it, whether it's helping people, whether it's investigating a location, where, like, you have something planned, like I said about Pennhurst. I'm going to Pennhurst the end of the month. If I'm, instead of looking forward to it, it's like, I got to drive that far. I got to spend this amount of money. I got to do that. I got to do this. And it just, there's no spark. That would be a time to, I would say, at least first step away. Slow it down. And then if the one isn't there, that's when you completely go away. That's when you need to step away completely. And, like, exactly.
Now this is kind of a tough question, because one is the work of somebody wrote a book on.
I was going to say, are you talking book or are you talking movie?
I'm assuming book. I could be wrong.
Yes to both.
I guess when you look at it, demons, hell, that kind of stuff, yes, it's related. You can connect the two. But
no, anything's possible in our field.
Well, right. But that's about the closest I would feel is, yes, the entities in the book could possibly be in our world to some degree. But as far as a full representation, I don't personally believe so.
I think that it's possible.
Like going to a job you have to do. Like having to go to a job you dislike, Lee said.
Actually, Lee, you're not too far off, brother. That's the way I feel about it. Like, if I mean, I'm not saying you skip into work, although I'd love to see you and Lee skipping together into work. That would be great. That'd be a great video.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
But I'm not saying, you walk into work, always excited. I mean, I'm enjoying my job. Is it something that I'm glad I'm getting paid for? They're glad that they're paying me to be there. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a hobby for me. I don't enjoy all of it. It's a lot of stress. But in a sense, yes, if it gets to the point, like I've left jobs before that you don't want to wake up. You don't want to leave the house. It's like, it doesn't, I don't want to say satisfy, but you just lose all motivation. You just don't want to do it. You just, enough's enough. It's like, torture. There you go. If it becomes like torture, that's a good time.
And Jennifer, no, I think you probably came in a little later. Pretty much what happened is I had a couple people lined up for tonight's show, and they, due to different reasons, they weren't able to join. One might still join later, I don't know. But as I was getting prepared to come on and just kind of chat a little bit, I've seen some people talk about retirement from the paranormal world, and somebody that has Wisconsin area Paranormal Society or Society of whatever their group is. The founder of that retired a few weeks back. So I just thought it was an interesting topic that nobody talks very much of in the paranormal world, is when's the time to retire. Myself personally, yeah, I have moments of like, but it's just moments. It's not blips. Matt has stepped back a little bit, but I don't think he's retired from the paranormal. And too funny, but about Lee skipping, or me singing Tiny Tim. So I'm not retiring. Matt slowed down a little bit, and I don't think anybody in Wasp is retiring. And so here we are.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, for me currently, I don't want to say it was too much, but it was too distracting mentally and physically. So that's why I slammed on the brakes.
And you just said earlier that he was in 80 chats, and he says he doesn't think that was too much. That's another side of the paranormal. A lot of people like to just throw themselves right in and just like jump right in. Like, they don't take the time to figure out what's the best approach and such.
Yeah, and a lot of like what I was involved with, it was like a friend or somebody who I know very closely. They invite me to these things. So it's like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, sure, why not? And it's just like shopping at Walmart. Oh, that's on sale. Great. Okay, I'll put it in the cart. Oh, that's on sale too. Put it in the cart. And next thing you know, you're spending $300 going, how am I getting home?
Correct. Jen says, okay, I believe one way to tell is when you start to see them target you. That is the ghosts or demons. I understand what you're saying, but I think that's the time to really double down, and because to me that feels like you're doing something right, especially if you're helping out families.
It depends on what you mean by target too, Jen. If you mean target as in always around, setting up your equipment, talking to you, I agree with Fedora 100%. You need to stay in the game. You need to stay in this field because you have that ability. You have a special gift. You have a special connection with the spirits, which can be a very good asset to clients and people you're investigating with. If you mean target as in attack you, like scratching, pushing, hurting you, that's where you need to take a step back and maybe reevaluate how are you approaching the situation. Like, are you just running in with your shirt off, calling everything a demon?
Settle down, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
see
still a hot
now,
button.
now that's where you're wrong. As in, I'm viewing it as the being attacked, scratched, and all that. Like she just said, that would make me feel to be more part of it. Because to me,
That's
see,
safety.
our main focus, and I believe I've heard you say it yourself, is to go in and help the clients to resolve issues. And in that situation, I must be doing the right work for them to become that me, to get me to stop. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I can see that.
I feel like, okay, now you got my attention. But then again, I could be a little more confident in that situation because, one, my faith, and I'm not going to throw a lot of religion into this, but in my faith, I feel that I could get this taken care of. And then we have Dale to back us up, and you yourself, who is
True.
capable of doing such things. So we've surrounded ourselves with around a bunch of individuals that could definitely help us. So myself personally,
from a general standpoint though, like that was my whole statement, was from a general standpoint as a general investigator. For me, again, it's all specific. It's situational. Like myself, like let's say we go in, like we were talking about that house that we investigated together.
mm-hmm.
We could have went there and just gotten the crap scratched out of us. We could look like a scratching post.
Right.
In that sense, absolutely, I would agree with you. That's where we are doing the right things. If the client is saying that they're getting scratched, they're getting pushed, they're getting this and that, we go in, we're getting the same thing, if not more, to where we look like we just, had a fight with a cheese grater. Yes, we are doing the right things. We're pushing the right buttons. We are getting to the right thing, and that's where we need to do to get a hold of Dale. As a general, though, if you're just an investigator, starting out in this field, or you don't have the experience that we have had, like I've dealt with, these demonics. I've dealt with 3 of them. I've dealt with malicious spirits. I'm used to it. I know how to handle that situation. I feel confident in not just my ability and my knowledge, but like you said, in my religion, to where I feel confident enough to take care of it. I feel protected.
And Jennifer, we're not trying to say that we understand what you're saying, but we're just kind of going and building up off of your statement. So it's on you.
No.
And you're 100% right. If you don't have that ability, like I was saying 2 minutes ago, we've set ourselves up with individuals that are capable of doing that. If not, go get the medium as you suggested, or somebody that can stage or whatnot. You're right. Leave the home and try not to get aggressive or provoke it for the client.
Yeah. And as a general, though, what I always say is it comes down to confidence level and comfort level. I mean, don't be overconfident. Don't go in, like I said earlier, don't go in ripping your shirt off saying, "Come here, demon." No, you don't do that.
It's your boy.
Don't do that. But at the same time, you don't want to set yourself up for something I like to call a dude run scenario, where you go in and something happens and dude run. No, dude, don't do that.
Priceless.
I love that. That was one of my favorites. But
every time I need a laugh, I do that.
I think they even made that a shirt, I want to say. But
are you asking me or are you asking Matt?
I'm in a basement. I'm in a basement. I'm not gonna say whose basement. I'm just in a basement.
He's in my basement.
Send help. But but anyway, I'm in Lee's basement. But anyway,
he actually has one. I don't have one.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. But anyway,
I'm that close to the river that we can't put that fire down because water levels.
Yeah, but I think it comes down to, like I said, with your confidence level. Don't be overconfident to where you put your own feelings and emotions to the side. If you go in feeling sketched out, you don't feel right, don't go in. Don't set yourself up for failure, because then you're just not helping anybody at that point.
Right. Yeah, you make a point. Um, so let's go back to a topic that we both disagree on. Me and
I
you
love.
disagree on this topic. Terminology.
Oh, you want to hit that?
Why not?
Okay. And by the
You,
way, folks, a little disclaimer. I love Scott to death. I love Fedora. We have the utmost respect for each other. You know, we disagree on some things like this topic he wants to open up. You know, it's not anything hateful. It's not anything hateful. It's not anything hateful.
Yeah,
But it's
it's a
okay to
little one
disagree.
anyway. It's a little one anyways.
Yeah, but it's okay to disagree.
But and you're not the only one that disagrees with me. A lot of people disagree with me, and it gets frustrating once in a while. But today, I'm in a good mood.
You're gonna poke the bear on this one.
But paranormal investigator slash versus ghost hunter.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I use the literal dictionary term of the words. Ghosts, looking for ghosts, ghost hunting. You know, that's what most of us do is we're looking for a ghost. Whereas paranormal includes Bigfoot, UFOs, cryptids, all that kind of stuff. So does it bother me to the point where I'm like, oh, you guys need to stop using? No, you do what term, whatever term you like. But a lot of people go ahead and explain what your view of a ghost hunter is.
So, okay, so to me, for the paranormal, as far as spirits, which I don't even like ghosts, but spirits, they're a ghost hunter is your hobbyist. Those are the ones who go to a haunted location, basically cemeteries, you know, public locations, and just do it for a hobby. They go out for the experience. That's it. They're an enthusiast. They don't do the investigating side of it. They just go out with a recorder, maybe a spirit box, and a camera, and just go see what they catch, which is fine. I'm not bashing them, but that's what I consider a ghost hunter. A paranormal investigator, or even ghost investigator, we can start a new term here, but
spirited investigator.
There you go. But an investigator is the ones who do their due diligence. They're the ones who take history on the property. They're the ones who go out and help and try to resolve situations. They're the ones who painstakingly, you know, stay up all night long reviewing evidence. They try to get answers. You know, they're the ones who do the work. And I'm not bashing any, you know, avid people out there, but they're the ones who go out and actually to go that extra mile to help out. Chupacabra.
Say that 5 times real fast.
I'm too sober for that. But now as far as the cryptid side of it, that's where you're a cryptozoologist. The ones who go out to do the Bigfoot, UFOs, which apparently anymore you just have to, anywhere in the US you can just look up because they're everywhere apparently. But no,
that's because they're hiding the rapture.
Right. But those if you're a Bigfoot hunter, that's what you are. You're a Bigfoot hunter. You're a cryptozoologist. That's what it is.
Right.
And I think even that, like, let's just say, we'll even take it a step further. Let's go off of Dale. Dale is a demonologist, along with Howard. They're demonologists. They've done the research. They've studied it. They've had the practice. If a team goes out and just looks for demon cases, they're set. You know what I mean? Like it's a league of its own.
Definitely. Yeah,
so again, it's nothing negative. It's nothing negative. But a ghost hunter is just they're out for the fun of it. They go out, they have fun. They're not trying to get answers. They're trying to get the experience, which I commend them for, because they actually, you know, have the to go out and do this, and I respect that. But for those of us who go out to try to find the answers and do our research, do our due diligence, we are the investigators. We are the paranormal investigators.
See, now, even though I disagree, I agree with everything he says to the point other than the terminology. So,
Tomato, tomato.
even though I would classify myself as a ghost hunter, he would classify me as paranormal investigator. Because 95% of the field classifies it that way. So
I'm wrong.
I'm the minority. I'm the minority in this argument.
No, and you know what? That's the other thing too. Like, no matter what your thought process is, it's your intention.
Right.
It's just like calling somebody a manager. Okay, well, take away the title. They're still a person.
Mm-hmm. They're still doing that part of the job.
Yeah, they're still like I've, as a manager and even a general manager, I've been, I've taken a step back and, swept and mopped and done dishes and done all this other stuff. It doesn't matter. You're still a person.
Most of them won't go around kids when.
Her eyes aren't black, are they? Because if they are, you send Fedora.
Yeah, right. I'll bring some split pea soup.
I'll bring the moonshine. I was warm in here. Now I'm getting cold.
He says, "Yeah, but don't the locals look at the chupacabra as a added." Yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce that word. Huh?
A deity? Is that what you're?
A deity?
A deity? Like
a god?
Yeah, maybe. I don't.
That's her, all right. But Denny, a lot of locals, I don't think they take it to that level, if that's what you mean. I think in some degree they revere them. Like, don't speak of the.
I think they're more of a nuisance. If memory serves me right, the chupacabra is known as a nuisance more than anything. It's kind of like the Jersey Devil.
Maybe I'm watching too many movies, the Hush Whispers and.
Well, I mean, it's like Skinwalkers. They're known by different names, but you don't go out and go, "Come here." You're not gonna go out and go, "Come here, Skinwalker, come here." You're not gonna do that. Or all hail. Well, I mean, I would, but I'd be afraid my ex would come out of the crevices.
Hopefully she doesn't watch my show.
I don't care if she did. I'll say it to her face. I've said it to her in court.
You gotta throw in the word allegedly.
No, the judge was right there.
No, I mean when you're calling these people, when you call her things like that. Allegedly, we believe you're a skinwalker.
No, I've said it right in court. I said, Your Honor, we don't need it. We don't need a judge for this. We need an exorcist. This is a skinwalker right here. She's a bloodsucker. Sorry.
So, what's one cryptid that you would never want to face?
Like a one-on-one or walk into?
Yeah. Whatever the circumstances comes up, and just one night you just
wander upon. That would be a grim.
A grim.
A grim. Yeah. A skinwalker. They're quick when they kill, so even if I do run into one, it don't matter. That'll be quick and I'm assuming painless. A
Wake
grim. Up. Yeah, just oh shit, done. It's cool. Can't spell. Is that what you mean though? A deity, like a deity, like a god.
I can't spell either.
Yeah, I can't either.
Autocorrect looks at me sometimes like, what the hell, man?
I can't spell, and you're lucky I can even speak English. And I was hosting shows, but no, the grim though. The grim would be slow, painful, and mentally, because when they come after you and they attack you, it's not just get out of the location. They will follow, and they leave an imprint on you, and it's nasty. They take their time with their victims.
So, for those that might not know, you want to to describe what a grim is?
I guess the easiest way to explain it is a mythological protector. They're very territorial, and what they do is they are. What's up, Aaron? Right?
How you doing, Aaron?
What's up? Yeah, Aaron. This is why I said I needed a few minutes.
Oh,
Aaron and I were gonna game and do some Son of the Forest because we finally got this shovel, and we had a nice little long journey yesterday on the game, and we finally got through with it, and then it was like 3 hours later, and we're like, yeah, we should probably go to bed. What's up, Ron? How you doing, brother? But no, so Grimm's, I guess the easiest way to explain it is they will protect a certain land, and they're guards. And if you run across them, consequences are very, very bad. You do not. There's a reason why the Grim Reaper was chosen to represent death, and that's because of these guys. These guys, you stumble upon their territory or where they're protecting, and you'll know. I've seen shadows of them, or at least shapes that look like Grims. If you look them up on Google, there's different representations, but most of them are pretty basic. Canine-like heads coming out with a black cloak flipped over, and they're not pretty. They're not.
You're speaking of my ex-wife, allegedly.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, see, you have to say allegedly. Me, I'll just tell her flat out. But yeah, as far as like facing one-on-one, Bigfoot. There's no way I want to run face-to-face and do a one-on-one fight, bare-knuckle fight with a Bigfoot. Mm-mm.
No, you never know. They might have a glass jaw.
How are you going to reach it?
Well,
come here.
You jump up.
Down. Yeah.
Throw a Slim Jim in front of him.
There you go. That's how you defeat him. Take the Slim Jim and run, because that worked well. That always works well in the commercials.
Messing with Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're getting way out of topic here.
Oh, that never happens with us.
You're around.
No, that never happens with us.
No, my shows, I generally have a clear path.
That's because I try to behave.
You come around.
I try to behave.
But it's almost fitting because the title that was original for this episode was, "Can I keep my guest in line?" Not really in line, but in focused or something like that.
Well, not with this camera. This camera always has me out of focus.
I must have had a premonition that you were lurking around somewhere, huh?
Hey, I've said this before to you, and I'll say it again. If it hits me and I have a link, or in this case, an account, and I feel like I can help in a situation, I'll be there. And just the topic and what you were talking about, like I was upstairs. I had dinner with my wife, and I was gonna game with Aaron, and I saw you came on, and I was like, oh, okay, so I'll listen in on what you've got going on, because I always like to listen to your show when I can. And the topic you brought up, I was like, okay. Oh, that's right, Jack Legs.
Close enough, right?
But yeah, so
it's definitely an interesting topic, though. I never truly have heard mentioned or talked about. I mean, obviously you see people just go,
yeah,
but nobody's ever truly talked about it. Like, there's a local group around us here in Warren that I believe is done. I haven't seen no activity or anything from it in some time now, and even their vehicle, I don't see them advertising anymore in the area. So I'm assuming they are done, which is a shame because they were around before we were. So
now,
we might not we might not have got along, and we might not have seen eye to eye, but the history of another group, should be there.
Well, I mean, there's been some teams that I've dealt with and I've seen, and even some of my own, like the one here in PA. It's just sometimes as a founder, or you just same thing. You just run into a situation where it's not beneficial.
Well, that's where I'm hoping that WASP will continue on, even when the original members are not there. Hey, Alex, have a good night. Are you DJing tonight? Excellent DJ. If you're in the, I believe, San Antonio area of Texas,
Yep,
get a hold of this guy.
he's a great
I
guy.
believe San Antonio. If not, correct me, please, Alex.
Yeah, it's San Antonio area. He's not too far from Lurker and David Hope.
Nice. Yeah, he does some DJing and some odds and ends as well, but
yeah, party it up, Alex.
I don't know if that's what he's doing tonight or not, but
either way, party it up.
He said did it last night. Yeah, well, yeah, being St. Patrick's Day, I imagine.
But no, I mean, it just sometimes as a founder and even as a team, sometimes the team just turns around and just says, you know what, we've had enough. It's not fun. I mean, and again, something else too. This field is expensive. This is a very pricey, and sometimes, it looks good on paper, but once you start getting the equipment together, you don't have the money to go out and investigate every weekend. You don't have, the ability to do all this, and then things change.
Now, if somebody was start a team right now, say okay, they have a little bit of money to do and such. Even starting off, I'd say easily $800 just to jump, just to get, if you're going all out to truly start a team. Otherwise, use your phone. You got a lot of equipment built right in your phones.
Utilize what you have. And honestly, like, I know there's a lot of investigators in this field who disagree with me, but Dollar Tree or your dollar stores, go there, get your flashlights there. Like, as much as I love my mag light, they're pricey. They can get pretty pricey. Go to the dollar store. The LED lights they have there, they're perfect. They're fine. They work well.
Even motion sensor.
Yeah. Walmart. I've gotten, like, when I first started in this field, I had a DVR system that was wired, and it was hooked up to a VCR with a cassette. I went to Salvation Army and picked up a bunch of tape recorders, bought a bunch of tapes, and I did the dollar store stuff. And I spent maybe $200 for the equipment, and then I think it was $100 and some odd for the cheapest security camera that I could get.
Like, and that's it. I mean, you don't have to go all out. And I will say, just because it's high end does not mean guaranteed results.
No, I actually caught. I've said this on my shows before. I caught some of my best evidence on VHS.
Even some of the evidence I got was a little $40 tape recorder, string and bells on a door handle.
Yep. And disposable cameras. They work very well. Polaroids, I've used them.
Polaroids are coming back out, but
yeah,
I don't think they do disposable cameras anymore, do they?
Yeah, I found a couple at Walmart and CVS.
Nice.
But, like, people underestimate the cheap stuff. And if you, like, I know, Scott, you guys, when you guys were here, you saw I had baby monitors.
Mm-hmm.
I had baby monitors that I used, and they were just fine. You just set a recorder down right next to the parent side of the baby monitor. You're recording. Actually, you're recording two areas.
Definitely. Heather says, I have always gone with what you are feeling. I like going somewhere and go on what you are feeling. The equipment is good, but intuition is Good. Yeah, you're right, Heather. When you have that ability, but when you're like a rock, as myself, I'm
And
feeling like a BLT or something. It's a good sandwich, not a paranormal presence, unless it's the presence of the Swedish Chef or something.
that'd be
Anyways,
cool.
all kidding
That'd be
aside,
cool.
if you
No,
have the ability, yes,
well,
the
even
instincts.
there's two things. One, it comes down to me for validation. Can you validate? Because obviously, if you're dealing with a client, you have to show the evidence. So you have to be able to validate it. But I also agree with you, Heather, on the fact that yourself is your best piece of equipment. You have to, like, I love, yeah, you're not wrong, Lee. That's because they're coming back.
Right.
But I don't have any gifts or abilities. The only thing that I'm sensitive to is the electromagnetic field. Being an electrician, you can imagine how much fun that is. But like, I get headaches. I feel weak, odd. I just feel off, and I'm very susceptible to it.
I
But
would. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but being out in the field when I'm investigating, I've gotten used to the darkness. I've gotten used to the element, the environmental side of it. So that takes, again, training. So when I go out, if I go to a location, like we're going again to Penhurst, I've got to put the adrenaline of being at that location aside. I've got to forget the history of it. I've got to forget everything that everybody's ever found there. All the evidence that has been presented from Penhurst, I got to forget about it. To me, it's got to be a location. It's got to be a location just like anywhere else. That's how I did the Queen Mary. That's how I've done a couple other places, Eastern State. That's how you have to approach it. And when you go in and you're just your natural self, if something doesn't feel right, that's paranormal in nature. Something is messing with your body to where it's throwing you off. So you have to be able to validate what you are feeling. And that's where some of the equipment comes in.
Right. Now I will say that
I see you messing with.
Huh?
I see you messing with the buttons.
I was just kind of curious how that would look, but it didn't pop up for some reason.
It won't. The one you clicked won't do anything unless you have a share screen.
See how that is? And that's what Heather says. Everybody has the abilities, but they need to work with it. Now, I was about to go along those lines. I was going to say, I joke and I say I'm like a rock and such, and there is some truth to that. But I've noticed through the time that I've been doing these now, I don't have the type of abilities that some people have, but I've learned to become sensitive to the surroundings and different things through the years. I've noticed, like, okay, this is, gut feelings, I guess is a better way to say it as well, is, hey, I know this situation. I felt this way before. I know something is just not quite right. Mm-hmm. So I guess there is some abilities there. And some people have more of the psychic sensitive type abilities that need to work on it. And either A, they don't want to, or A, they're not aware, or B, they are not aware how. But yeah, it's just, I think a lot of times you just kind of know, you kind of learn how to pick up on those feelings. That's like I've been driving bus for over 10 years. I don't watch the back of the length of my bus all the time. I just know where I'm at. It's just no gift. No, it's just a trained thing where, okay, I know I'm this part of the road. I don't need to be turning into this turn yet because I'm not quite into the right spot.
Yeah. Well, and it's like any job, and the paranormal is just like that. Like I worked at Domino's, like I said, for years. To this day, I could walk into any Domino's and make anything on that menu. I can still make I'd still make a damn good pizza. I'd still make everything, the way it is, because that's what I'm trained to do. That's what I've trained. And, the paranormal is no different. You have to train yourself if you're going to, go in and do, go into clients. That's one thing that I've always stressed on new investigators is go to the cemeteries, go to the public locations.
Right. And there you go, people.
And she's a good one. She's a good one to learn from.
Don't tell her that. Her head's going to swell up.
Wear a fedora, it'll hold it back.
That's why I tell her all the time. You're not good. What are you doing? Don't tell people that. You're nuts. Gotta keep her ego in check. She's got a big one.
but no, like, you have to train yourself. You have to train yourself. And again, it goes back to that confidence. You want to be confident, but not egotistical about it.
Right.
You don't want to go in and say, I can take on Satan. No, you can't. Good luck. Let me know how that works out for you.
Nah, I probably wouldn't be telling you.
If you even come back. But no, it's you're welcome, Heather.
There you go. There you go. That's where it starts.
But yeah.
So you had prior engagements. I appreciate you coming on. And I'm not kicking you off. Don't take it that way.
I see how you are.
But Aaron came looking for you.
Yeah, apparently. I didn't tell him what I needed a minute for. I just said I just needed a few minutes.
Well, I believe we're friends on Facebook. He probably was scrolling through and seeing your face and was like, "Oh, hey, oh, I get it."
I'm actually surprised there's not more people going, "Wait a minute, hold on, what's going on?"
That part I know is true.
No, you have to. Just because you're confident and you're trained doesn't mean you don't need to still have protection. I mean, think of cops. You know what I mean? Like, they're trained. They're trained for a lot. They still carry protection. Military is the same way.
I will say that a lot of the P3 watches the Don Vick show and such more than popping in over here. So that's why you got to sneak in under the radar. And
you just wait till Victor goes live. Oh wait, Victor's live. Everyone's distracted.
He is live. He went live at 7:30 or 7, I believe.
Yeah, I saw he has our brother David on. David Hope. So that'll be a great show too. I popped in on him and said hi and shared it real quick.
Nice. But so yeah.
Words.
Any other time? Words are hard. English is hard. So is there any thing you'd like to add to the whole retirement and all that of the topic?
Honestly, whether you stay, whether you go, be truthful to yourself. It was recently said to me numerous times by different people. It's okay to be greedy for these shows, to want views, want subscribers, and everything else. It's fine, but also be greedy for yourself. That means take care of yourself, take care of your mental, physical, and all that stuff, and don't let others dictate on what you do. Make your own decision, and those people who really do care about you will stand behind you. Case in point, and the one upstairs that's probably going to yell at me. But yeah.
Match made in heaven, right?
Only an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Only an hour and a half late there. What's up, Jay? Well,
it takes him a while.
But
he forgets how to work the computer.
As long as it turns on, I'm happy. So I feel you on that one, Jay. Well, but be truthful to yourself. And like I said, the ones in your true friends, your true family will have your back. And I will say this as a little teaser. I'm not going to tease. I'm not going to mention when, but me stepping away is not permanent. and it may not be as long as what some may think. There's something already in the works.
Check that out.
Absolutely.
We
And
all
share.
dropped the ball on that one.
Duck lips. If you're finding any value in this,
thank you for.
I love that. I wanted to say Ramirez too. I absolutely love that picture, your profile picture. I feel like that's off of an anime, but I'm trying to put my finger on which one it is.
I do.
See, Lee, if I had a teleprompter, it would be in pictures, because I can't read. Y'all are lucky I can speak. Yeah, there you go. Duckbird. Oh, got it. Great.
Duckbird.
Oh, cat. But no, it's not going to be. There's something in the works, and it's going to be coming.
Nice. I assumed that it wasn't going to be 100% Step Boy. I assumed that it was going to be a refocused, regroup. Now I have a direction to go. I'm going.
In a sense, I've got ideas, and if those of you who have seen, my shows before, ideas are bad. Ideas are very bad. And there's going to be a new YouTube channel. There's going to be a new Facebook page. It's going to be, it's going to be different.
So is that all you're going to share on the first show, the first place you ever did a podcast interview? That's all you're giving us?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one better than Good Old Boys.
Good Old Boys. That had a lot of potential, and that's not a total no. It might come back. Leaffoot and I would have to have a conversation on that. The channel itself, though, I don't remember the password and information to. So I might have to do some digging. But I had people come up to me on the bus and say, "Hey, I like that channel you did, or the whatever," and I'm start talking about this one, and they're like, "What? Paranormal? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Good Old Boys." Oh, you seen that?
I liked Good Old Boys. I liked Good Old. By the way, I ordered something, but it still hasn't came yet, so I gotta talk to. I gotta talk to her.
Oh,
she didn't even see it. I ordered a shot of moonshine and some ice. Before anybody gets on me about the ice, I do a mixed drink.
Oh, you gotta take those training wheels off sooner or later.
Hell no, it's too delicious.
You should come up this way one night, and we could do a live where me, you, and Leaffoot and JWoww go down Pennsylvania Avenue in Warren, PA, and hit every bar along the way. A paranormal bar crawl.
Finding the spirits. That's what we'll call it.
Well, as we're walking from one place to the other, we'll do a live feed, and we'll see how coherent we are by the end of that.
So you're saying that it'll turn into, like, it'll start off with like at the library when we were having a good time at the library, to Blair Witch.
Yeah,
that's what it'll end up being at the end of the night, with a camera up our noses, nodding on everything, giggling about stupid shit. Yeah,
I don't know what happened to the consultant and JWoww, and I hear Leaffoot sneaking up behind me. Thanks for coming in, Jennifer. I really appreciate it.
See you, Jen.
I don't think we'll be on too much longer. We're kind of he was already up your way about a month ago. Yeah, that's true, but
Still too
I
long.
got a feeling a night like that I would need a day or two off just to kind of get back track of things.
When how about this? I'll come up when Leaffoot season's in.
Mm, that that could be something. But yeah, definitely.
But no, I like that. Finding the spirits. That's what we'll call it. Finding the spirits, and we'll find all of them.
Day or two to polish the fedora. So I would need a total of 5 days. 2 days to polish fedora, 1 day of us out drinking and such, and then 2 days to recover from alcohol
out of
poisoning.
context, that could be NC-17. Just saying.
I got to see.
I know, it was great seeing Heather. By the way, that wine we got was delicious. That lasted a whole 10 minutes. We got back to the hotel and cracked. Well, we went down to the bar at the hotel, and we each got one drink, and it was like $50. And I went, yep, we're only having one.
Right. I'm sorry. Can I get 3 straws here?
Right. What if I only drink a third of it? Do you take a payment plan? But then we went back up to the room, and that wine was just destroyed. And so was I, too, because I was the only one who really drank it. They had, like... they only had, I think, one glass out of the girls only had, like, one glass. I had the bottle.
Lucky Charms beer.
I still need to try that.
I don't think I recommend it now. I opened one not too long ago, and the flavor was not as great.
You can tell I've been this was a new bottle, but you can see I've been sipping on that.
Yeah, well, see, you got
That's
it
not bad.
smart there, where you got it green screened in, so we can't. But yeah, my Lucky Charm beer, I'd have to make a new batch. Yeah, that wine was called Bigfoot.
That was good.
But
You know what? You know what I should do is I should just add the lemon juice right to this and just call it good instead of just pouring it. It's a waste of a glass.
about 5-6 years ago or so, maybe even 10 years ago now, I had a great bottle of Irish whiskey. It was top notch. Had it at a St. Patrick's Day party at Leafoot's, and they couldn't get away from me. I drank the whole thing, you know. They might as well put a baby nipple on it from a baby bottle. So
That's how I am with some of my wine.
from the man who ate mustard, mustard ice cream. What did you know, Heather? You know nothing. But yeah, that was some. I found out the sweet stuff was at the bottom of the bottle.
Always is. It's weird.
Actually, I think Heather was supposed to keep us in check that night, and she went back up to her house above Lee.
Fail. Are you saying Scott was stripping on the floor, or that's what you need to drink is a bunch of floor stripper? Bigfoot was good.
Nobody wants to see a fedora in that position, especially fedora.
Well, if you get to that point, you won't be seeing much of anything.
We're going to stop that line because all kinds of stuff just started to come out. Luckily, I haven't been drinking, so the filter was good on that.
I just don't care. It's not my show.
I was about to say, I might have to do something like this. And then what are you going to
Unmute myself because I have access to.
can buy Bigfoot wine at Sheffield Winery. He actually got it at where Heather works there.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if they got different types of flavors, though.
There's a winery here close by where I'm at, and they make some good wine. Damn good wine. I mean, the Bigfoot one was good, but there's some wines, and I don't know if you like dry or whatever, but they have a sweet wine that's called Three Dogs in Heat, they call it, I think. And it was delicious. It was like, it was great.
Yeah.
That was the first time Mackenzie was in a Tops.
That's right. I remember that now that you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I couldn't find where the candy was.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell's the candy? It was here. And you guys were like, where we were walking to.
2 aisles over. It's like, no. This I know the store like the back of my hand. We just walked by it. But okay.
Oh, what's that?
Flowers. What? Candy in the flowers. That's weird.
Well, that's where it used to be, in all honesty. But I don't go to Tops very often. But anyways, we're way off topic. So I think we'll just probably call it good. Let you get to where you're going.
Well, after this, I'm gonna run upstairs, smoke a filtered air, and grab that moonshine, and then get into whatever I can get into with Aaron.
Nice. I might find your stuff later. Do a couple of odds and ends real quick around here, and then might scroll online a little bit. But who knows? Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So you might hear from me again tonight. If not, you'll hear from me tomorrow. I really appreciate you jumping on.
And no worries, brother.
I definitely feel privileged, that's for sure. Never trust a fedora to be on time or have directions. Now, see, the direction part sounded different. I'm pretty good with directions.
This way and that way.
Right. Let's go there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like how you made your way to Ohio, right?
For those that are here, I tried to surprise Matt, but Facebook ratted me out. I was in his area. I was like, no, because he called me. He's like, hey, where you at? Oh, I think I'm just in Ohio now. And
I just crossed over the border into Ohio. I was like, sure. I didn't believe him for a second.
And then 5 minutes later, I'm in front of his store saying I'm lost, doing a live.
Mm-hmm.
How long was I in that video before you realized where I was?
30 seconds. I got we were in Walmart when I got the notification. We were in the checkout line, and that's when I called you. We got out to the car. That's when you went live, and I went, the door is live. And that was kind of a tip that something was up, and I saw the main road, and I went, that mother, he's in Danville. And she goes, what? And I go, he's in town. I was like, we need to go now. And I don't think I've ever driven as fast as I did to get down there.
So all those poor people ended up with cold food because you didn't drive very fast. But
I wasn't working that day.
I know. Well, that was cool, though. I enjoyed, giving you the surprise, and it was a cool day. Yes.
You and all my Wasp family are always welcome. Anytime.
Matt's saying. Jay was saying he's hoping to be down in your area sometime in the next few months.
I was going to say spring is here, apparently.
Yeah, my birthday is coming up next week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting to be retirement age.
I retire every day. I wake up tired again. I'm always retiring.
Retire as soon as you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
But so I appreciate you jumping on. I really am.
Anytime, brother.
Because I thought that I would eventually convince you to come on, but luckily I didn't have to do any convincing.
No, you should know me well enough by now. You hit the right subject and the right string.
I'm good with that.
We've known each other, what, 4 years now? 3-4 years now?
It's been a little bit of time. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but it feels like it's been 10, 15, 20 years. But
right. I remember, well, let's see. Mackenzie and I have been together, this will be 6 years.
Oh. Yeah, Mr. Swaglord. I got caught up in my last live investigation rookie mistake on my behalf, reading comments from people, um, that had me say, I'm talking about Black History Month, talking about Underground Railroad and such, and they said ask, and I was like, during the spirit box session, I was like, anybody in the comment section, I asked, give a question, and I'll ask. Yeah, somebody, and okay, I guess I should stop pointing because I'm 80% sure somebody dropped in. Ask if you like chicken and watermelon. Yeah, Mr. Fedora here, trusting his audience, said, "Hey, even my kids that was there with me stopped and looked at me like, really?" I'm like, "Yep, I just got trolled."
Actually, I saw this one TikTok, and I don't know what it was for or the purpose behind it, but they had 4 African American guys and 1 white guy, all blindfolded, and they had to figure out who was the white guy. Yes, and it was so funny. It was so funny because like you kept hearing him say, "Oh yeah, he has to be black. He just his answers are just right there. But is his answers too black?" And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Really?
I like how the ghosts are now colored black and such.
I see right through it.
It does make me question though. That's just
that could be a whole nother show.
Yeah, maybe another time. But that's why you, sir, have a lot of moderators in your show.
Yeah.
I don't think I have one. Maybe Lee Foot. Are you a moderator in the chat as well?
Yeah.
No, it's a little harder for you to do anything about it. But Lee Foot's a moderator. Usually, he likes being mean to people. I can't believe he's letting it slip. But yeah,
that's how you know you're doing something right, though, when you get stupidity like that.
That's nothing. I just can't believe. I can't believe that I was. And I'm sure you've been in situations where you're writing an investigation, and so outside influence you're not really paying attention to. You're right in the middle of it, and you're like, yeah.
Half the time I'll ask the stupid questions. I don't need I love my audience to death, but I'll ask the dumb questions. I asked one spirit, "What's it like to die?" And you just see the entire team go. I'm like, what? And you hear the spirit just go, cold. Cold? Okay, so bring a sweater. Got it. Okay, cool. And I've, hey, dude, I've asked really stupid things. But you know what? My thought process is they hear the same stuff all the time. What's your name? How did you die? What year is it? What year do you think it is? They don't hear things like, what's your favorite sports team?
They hear, do you want chicken? Do you want watermelon?
Yeah.
They get tired of questions like that.
What's your favorite song?
Yeah.
Do you have a shanty you like? I've even asked, and for those adult viewers, I've even said, what's your favorite position? And I've even, for you young kids, what your favorite baseball position is. But we'll just leave it at that. But like I've asked stuff like that. They're not used to just the random stupid fun questions. And
a lot of times you'll get responses based off that.
Yeah.
I remember our one team member, Joel. He frustrated me. I'm at Guernsey doing a voice recording. And I'm purposely messing up nursery rhymes, hoping that they'd say, "Oh, it goes like this," or correct me, or how. And I'd get done with it, and he'd correct me. And I did like 2 of them. Finally, I looked at him. I was like, "You really don't think I don't know what these nursery rhymes are? Like, it ain't like some forgotten nursery rhyme from the 1600s. This is like average everyday." So, oh yeah, okay. But
Little
no,
Miss
I've been
Muffet
thinking
sat on
about
her hand.
right. I've been thinking about getting, and not because of this situation, but I've been thinking about getting somebody to sit in the background and be able to pop up comments and kind of moderate the chat and such. So that way, if I miss a question or something like that, there's somebody that's able to pop it up or bring up, hey,
Yeah.
they asked a question or whatever. This kind of stuff. I appreciate a little humor. It breaks up the show a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, and sometimes the audience, especially if you have a guest on, the audience asks questions that you sometimes don't even think about.
Right. Definitely. Like, is it grape or is it purple?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the video you're speaking of?
Mm-hmm. Is it red or cherry? Man, no one talks like that.
Life.
Mm.
So, I suppose I'm about to hit the 2-hour mark.
I was gonna say an hour ago you were ready to shut this down.
We got some entertainment to jump in, so.
Yeah, That's why I don't ever focus on the time. We just have fun.
Well, working all day, it makes you a little. Yeah. I know it's a little annoying at work because the clock that I use, I cannot get to readjust to the time change. So my clock at work is an hour behind. And in my job, it's like I gotta know the time. It's not one of those things where I can just say, well, I suppose I could.
Yep. No, I get you.
So, but I definitely appreciate you coming on. Before you go, duck lips.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Found any bite? No, not. I'm still too sober for that.
We do need to have another episode where we're having the drinks and such.
Yeah, I'm like, what was it, the 4th of July?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was 4th of July because we had the fire going. And we were just talking about ghost stories and urban legends and whatever else. Whatever else we could come up with. And then who knows what it turned into. I don't even remember the last half of it. I was gone.
I've been afraid to find it and see what was what because
I don't ever watch my own videos. I'll be honest with you. I don't watch any of them. I don't even know how half the people can watch me, period.
Yeah, you're entertaining. But that's myself. That's why I hate editing my videos, is because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
But, all right, brother. You have a wonderful night.
Y'all do the same. Fedora, always a pleasure, brother. And guys, if you're watching this, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, because Fedora definitely deserves it. If not, you'll have a leaflet to go after you. Much love, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night, Matt.
Good night, brother.
Well, my friends and paranormal fanatics, I appreciate you staying with me as long as you did tonight. It was a wonderful topic that I don't think gets much attention, that's for sure. So hopefully if English is hard. Hopefully if you came in so late, you will go back and kind of listen and kind of think about the topic we had of retirement in the paranormal world. And just kind of give it a good thought. I was really surprised and shocked that our brother Matt jumped on. Good night, Heather, and joined us. He hasn't been doing so many shows lately, so that just shows how much respect and love he has for us here over in our little neck of the paranormal world. Good night, my friend. And so I really don't know what more to say. I've been kind of contemplating on having my shows moved from Saturday night to Sunday afternoons. Feel free to drop your comments on if you like that thought, don't like that thought. Let me know from there. But if that's the case, we'll figure that out down the line. And I'm just rambling. So with that, good night, everybody. Be good to each other. And as always, stay spooky, my friend.
Well, hey everybody, thanks for stopping down and appreciate the visit. Now get the hell off of my porch. We'll see you the next time. Come on back.
Hey, what are y'all still doing here? I thought I said it was time to go. What the heck? I said it was done. It was over. Show's done. What are you doing hanging out still? Just kidding. The show is done. But I seen y'all just kind of hanging out, so I figured I'd stop in and like I've been doing lately. If you watch some of my past couple episodes, you'll see me come back down and say, hey, thank you for hanging out a little bit longer and give me that couple minutes of extra watch time on my videos. You guys rock. You guys are the true rock stars. Everybody just disappeared. So with that, since everybody disappeared, have a good night, and I hope you enjoyed my Ferris Bueller ending there.